made up, the food coming in the bathroom becomes tummy. That's probably when your kids bring candies into the bathroom, the mother's an excuse, oh, it's tummy, you can't have it now. But it doesn't, there's no source for that. There is an Inyan, B'Shem Tzadikim, it says not to bring in the food into the bathroom unless it's covered with the thing, but it doesn't become tummy, it doesn't become treif afterwards. There's nothing about that.
Not like double covered.
It's all, it doesn't say in halacha there's no issue at all. Even mitzad the mekubalim, if it's also it's brought down in some places, but not like a isur mamish, and that doesn't mean that for sure doesn't become tummy afterwards.
What's about a davar shebekdusha?
That's different. That it says not to.
That's
sure.
probably where they're learning it out.
Can sein. If your food is so holy, you can't bring it in. Yeah.
No, I'm saying they're bringing it right.
Can sein. Some people treat their food more than a cheret than they treat svardim.
No, but for the truma.
Huh?
Truma.
Could you bring truma to the bathroom? That's a shayla. I don't know. Maybe taka truma you can't bring it. Question: why doesn't Chabad eat shalosh sudas? This is a very, very common mistake. It's an unfortunate mistake, and that people assume that in Chabad we do not eat shalosh sudas. The reason for this assumption is because in the Welt and all the other places of Shtiblach, so Shabbos afternoon after Mincha they sit down, they wash with chalas, and they eat some fish and they eat some salads, and Chabad it doesn't happen. So the assumption is that we don't eat shalosh sudas in Chabad. It's a terrible mistake. It's a terrible mistake in Shulchan Aruch. There's a chiyuv to eat 3 meals on Shabbos, 1 meal on Friday night and 2 meals on Shabbos day. Ideally, the meal should be after Shachris and after Mincha. But the Yevid, you can have 2 meals after Shachris and it could be before Mincha. But there must be 2 separate meals. In Shulchan Aruch it says the Chatchila you're supposed to have this for the 3rd meal. You have to wash and eat hamayis. With the Yevid you can have mezainis, and with the Yevid you can be yaitze even with fruit and vegetables. But you must eat. One second. But you must eat something. And the minhag Chabad is that we're not makbid on washing. We don't mind either eating just mezainis or just the adam and ha'etz. We're okay with that with the Yevid. Says not only we're okay with that, lechatchila we're mahader to not wash and dafka eat either mezainis or adam or ha'etz. The reason for that is al pi Kabbalah, it's also al pi Nigla, the whole source for eating shalosh sudas, 3 meals on Shabbos, is because it says in the Torah 3 times hayoim, when it comes to the mitzvah of the mon. So it says 3 times hayoim, ichlu hayoim, ki Shabbos hayoim lashem, hayoim loy timtzu basada. So the last time it says hayoim, it says next to the word loy, hayoim loy, today not. So b'meila, since the last time it says not, so we're minimizing that meal. And then al pi Kabbalah, that inyan, the gilu that's shining in the world, and Raven is above the world. It's made the lasid lavi, ein be'achil v'shtiya. So therefore, we're already feeling, so to speak, the gilu lasid lavi, which is above food. But you have to eat. It's very, very sad that many bachim think that there's no point in eating shalosh sudas. It's very wrong. You have to have a second. The chatchila it's meant to be done after mincha, but even if you don't do it after mincha, you can do it before mincha. It's also brought down that the Rebbe Rashab, when it was the winter Shabbosim, so after Shachris he would make Kiddush and make Kiddush and eat mezainis, and then he would daven mincha, and then he would wash after mincha. So the point was to have 3 meals, to have 3 separate meals. So the meal between Shachris and mincha was 1 meal, and the meal after mincha was the 3rd meal. But there has to be dafka 3 meals. And that's you can do it. So chatchila after mincha, but the Yevid also before mincha. So after you're done your meal, so to eat right away afterwards is al pi halacha. It's a bit questionable. You can wait a half hour, an hour, then just take a snack, and then you'll be ate to that to shalosh sudas, and it must be done every single Shabbos. 1 second, yes, Arya.
Why don't we have something like that here? Like everyone goes downstairs now for a small snack.
What do you bring with that?
It's a good question. We can bring it up to the management. Huh? After mincha, you could still eat a few minutes after shkia. I'm not sure exactly, but that's how it is.
Earlier.
Huh? We can make mincha earlier. We can try. Yeah. We'll speak to the management.
We're gonna make the cake, right?
It doesn't have to be cake. It can be anything. It can be any. So before shachris, it cannot be considered a suuda, because before shachris you're not allowed to eat. And if it's considered a suuda, you have to make kiddush first. Which in the Welt they tell us that the people that don't eat before davening, they tell the Lubavitchers they eat before davening. How can you eat before kiddush? If it's a suda on Shabbos, you have to eat before kiddush. So the answer is that the meal, what we eat before Shabbos, it's not the gather of suda. It's the gather of the achona for davening. And if you consider it a suda, it has to have kiddush. So that's why that can't be counted.
So make kiddush before our second meal?
Huh?
So shul is our second meal?
Well, yeah, Bachna go to shul afterwards. After they eat the meal over here, and they bench. It's the bench first. So you bench after the meal and then go to shul, eat something else, and very good.
What about the places that do mincha right after mincha?
I think that's very wrong for these reasons.
Can you eat the second Suda by Mizrayim?
That's what he just asked. Before davening, you're saying?
No, the second Suda.
For sure. Shalosh Sudas can be to a Mizrayim. That's our minute. After.
Can you make
Not
Kiddush
only
before
for-
Shacharis?
No.
I know the family that
Everyone's asking that question. The Mizrayim before davening is not considered the Suda.
No, I asked like you said one of the Rabbeim.
The Rebbe Rashab would make Mizrayim first.
Yeah, Mizrayim. So, yeah.
That was for the, but after
So that was Shanakilu B'yom.
he made Musaf and he had Mizrayim, and then afterwards he davened Mincha, and then he washed.
As Gam B'Suda, Zot B'Seder Chol Mizunah.
סעודה ראשונה? זה שני נושא אחר. השאלה, זה נושא של שאלה אחרת. זה בדיון שלם.
What about a kiddush between Shacharis and Musaf?
Halachically, you're not allowed to eat before Musaf a certain amount. Besides the kabeya, you can't have. And if there's a suda, have to be a kabeya. But maybe if a person eats the Kiddush Club, I think it's a terrible minig, but that's already beside other reasons. But halachically, if you eat it then, the suda, maybe if you afterwards, but those guys don't usually bench afterwards. So when they eat later, it's a continuation of the previous suda. Not they don't bench at all, they bench after Musaf. So it's not a separate suda. So Simchas Torah is lamad them everything. It's you can't explain anything in Simchas Torah. Can't ask any questions. Can you paskin using Ruach HaKodesh? For example, Shnai Meichazin, and you know two people come to you holding a talus, and you know with Ruach HaKodesh who it belongs to, can you give it all to him? The answer is no. Rabbonim, Tzadikim, even though they had Ruach HaKodesh, they were not able to paskin with Ruach HaKodesh. There's a famous story with the Mezritcher Maggid that a Yid came to the Maggid and he said, Rebbe, someone stole something from me. So the Maggid told him, it's Ploini ben Ploini, that person needs the Ganav. So the Yid that was stolen from him went to the Ganav and he told the Ganav, you stole my stuff. So how did you know? So the Maggid told me. So the Yid said, okay, you know something, let me go to the Maggid. So he came to the Maggid, the Ganav came to the Maggid, he told the Maggid, he says, Rebbe, you're using Ruach HaKodesh to catch people, that's not right. So the Maggid told him, you have a taina, you're true, but you should know that I saw that you were the Ganav when I was in the bathroom. So therefore, I was able to, it wasn't Ruach HaKodesh, it was like a different kind of koyach that I saw, whatever the beer might be. But you're not supposed to use the Ruach HaKodesh to pass him. So b'meile, Mati, you understand? You don't use the Ruach HaKodesh to pass him, you have to just learn and then pass him according to that. Are you allowed to jump the gate to the subway or ride the bus without paying? No, of course not. I don't understand the shayla. You're not allowed to sign me sat stealing and sign me sat chilul Hashem. They end up cashing bachrim anyway. So what's the point? Another point.
What about that? What about when the mikvah going?
Same thing. If something doesn't belong to you and there's a person that put up a sign, you can't do that. No. You're not allowed to lie. No.
We're trying to squeeze 10 people through the thing to the mikvah.
Should we be afraid of another Holocaust, Rahman al-Islam, if Biden wins? No, Chas v'shol, we shouldn't be afraid of anything. And I don't know why people think that think that they know everything. But those that follow the news by Emes, they claim that Trump supports the KKK. Which is if anything, a continuation of the Nazis, Rahman al-Islam. Not that there's nothing to be afraid of, regardless who wins, and nothing. We have to dive into Hashem, and Hashem takes care of us. But being afraid of anything in this world is wrong.
Trump supports KKK the same way Biden likes the black.
No. I'm not saying that I know, but I think but Bachram are reading the news articles and they're hearing things and they decide that they know already, and therefore they're being afraid. A Bachar shouldn't know that. I'm saying, but if Bachar is afraid of this, so you can be afraid of that also. I'm just saying there's no reason to be afraid of anything. The Daibish should fear the Welt, and your person should. Bachram shouldn't talk on these things. Shouldn't know about these things. Huh? You should not buy any guns. No. It's another question. Is it also al pi Torah to support a party that allows things which are not allowed according to Torah? Example. There's a big mistake over here. The Bachram today there's everyone's kivyachol kachim Trump. Bachram have to realize that Fruma Yidden don't go for Trump. Fruma Yidden go for the Eibishter for Torah mitzvahs. And if he happens to be in our shliach, so that's why we're voting for him. It doesn't mean that whatever he says we agree with. It doesn't mean that we're associated with his party. It bothers me very much that Bachram are wearing the pins now and the flags and all that. We're not Trump fans. We're not Trump people. We're not followers of Trump. We're followers of the Eibishter. And the Eibishter tells us how to live our lives and what to do. And therefore, if right now he's the shliach that seemingly al piteva, he's the one that's helping at Yidden and Yiddishkeit and Eretz Yisrael. Yisrael, then he's the one that we should be voting for. But we're not his people, we're not his followers. It's a very, very big mistake. And Mamela Bocher has to identify with this party and that party, and the party was against halacha. Every party, every goyish person that is in office will have shittis, will vote for things that are against Klal Yisrael. Trump also has a solution for Eretz Yisrael, which is against Shulchan Aruch. He wants to give Palestinians a state. So versteht sich, it's better than what other people want to do, but Tzad Sheni is a big pachad, because Trump, whatever he says, he actually does. So if he'll actually try to make this happen, Rahman al-Islam, it could be terrible for the Yid.
He canceled it already.
Zal sein, but he can try again. The point is, that when you vote for any kind of office, you vote what's closest to Yiddishkeit. In Eretz Yisrael also, the Rebbe's kav is always that you have to vote for the party which is closest to Yiddishkeit, which supports Yiddishkeit the best kind of way. There's no party in Eretz Yisrael or in America which runs with our ideals 100%. So you have to go the one that's the most. So even so, the example the Bacher wrote, the specific example that the other party, so that's wrong. But you have to find out what's the most fitting with Yiddishkeit, and then you vote for that, and before and after that you have no shaykhs to it. The whole Kachinzech and finding out the news and hearing of who wins and who loses is a very, very big mistake. It's not Darkei Chassidus, and for a Bacher and Chetmimis, that should be, it's for sure very, very wrong.
Trump is the closest to Yiddishkeit because he's...
The way I understand, that's what people are saying. That's what they ask. But I'm not a Trump fan. I'm not a Trump person. I'm a chassid of the Rebbe. I'm a from a Yid. That's my life is. I go by Shulchan Aruch. So right now I do that, and that's it. You don't have to invest more and whatever. Put flags on your cars and pins on your things. It's ridiculous.
So why did the chassid of the Rebbe Maras scream Ura?
Because that's what the Rebbe has to do.
No, tell him to vote, not to scream Ura.
Say there. So it was the same thing. The Rebbe spoke about a Fabrik. The Rebbe spoke about there was a chassid that when there was a coronation of the Tsar Nikolai, so he was an older chassid. He heard about it and he said, "I don't understand why they're making coronation. That he was already crowned."